Hey guys, what's up? Dingo Crikey here with another Transformers commentary video, and in this one I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on some images of some new upcoming Titans Return figures. So these aren't like official product images or convention images, but I do believe they're official images of some new Titans Return figures that will be coming up. There were some rumors early on that these were fake, but at this point they seem pretty legit, and that seems to be the general consensus. Anyways, a lot of people do wonder when I discuss these images, what's the release date? I don't know that there has been an exact release date revealed for these guys. However, I've heard 2017 thrown around, so might be a pretty long wait, as we do have many Titans Return figures before we would get some of these ones. Without further ado though, let's get to looking at the images, and the first one we have is Doublecross. Now, I can't remember if the original character had the exact same name, but this definitely bears quite close resemblance to Doublecross's G1 counterpart. I'd been waiting for a figure of this guy for a really long time, and I've got to say, personally, I'm really liking the looks of him. He kind of has our basic Titans Return build, you know, kind of a G1 blocky look, but he does have the dragon heads for hands, which is a quite unique feature, and since he's a double-headed dragon, we don't have one of those weird dragon heads being split in half for hands, you know, where we have it flat on the side, so looks like that's going to be nice. Also, looks like he'll have a whole bunch of articulation in the arms, and a pretty good amount of articulation all throughout. As far as the dragon mode goes, personally, I'm really liking the looks of it, but even if you don't, I don't think you can take away from it that it's very unique looking, with the longer body, of course the double heads, the shorter legs that kind of stick out a little bit, the bat-like wings. A lot of the limbs on him, you know, arms and the legs and even the wings, I guess they don't count as limbs, but they're all kind of small looking. Kind of gives him an uncanny look in my opinion, but it works out really well. For the color scheme, it looks like we have a light gray, maybe some white in there, black, a little bit of a darker gray, a blue, and then obviously red. Nothing too flashy, but definitely not bad, at least in my opinion. And surprisingly, he's an Autobot, and that was always one of the appeals with this character, is that he's a dragon. He's kind of a ferocious looking thing, but he is an Autobot in fact, so I think that's pretty cool. And I did forget to mention, according to this image, he is a deluxe class figure as well, so probably could talk about him more. I'm personally really liking the looks of him, and altogether I think it's cool that he is finally getting a figure. But the next one we have is Getaway. Also an Autobot, also a deluxe class figure, and he does appear to be a repaint of Chrome Dome. Now it looks like he may have some remolding. I don't have an image of Chrome Dome right here, but they do look to be fairly similar. The color schemes are totally different though. The last guy with the color scheme like this that I remember was the movie 2007 Breakaway toy. Personally, I'm not a big fan of this color scheme. I do like kind of inventive, different ones, and this gives us something like that, but I don't think these colors come together all too nicely, especially the distribution, because he just has a whole lot of white, then he has that random burgundy on his chest, and then some tidbits of blue all throughout, but they really don't look spread too nicely. Now, these are preliminary images, so maybe things are going to change for the final figure, and those are of course my own thoughts on it. Some people may really like the looks of this guy's robot mode. I do like the vehicle mode a little bit more. Still not crazy about the colors, but I do think they work out a little bit better. The translucent burgundy windows will be a unique touch. Also has some racing stripes. Anything else that's significant? I mean, I guess the head has a whole bunch of yellow on the face. Sure, there might be some mixed opinions about that, and this figure altogether, personally, I don't really like it. In my opinion, a lot of times we get like forgettable repaints in a line, and at this point it looks like this guy could be one of those. Then again, if you're really looking forward to seeing this character again, this color scheme, then maybe you would be really looking forward to this guy. The next one we have is Trigger Happy. Now this is an interesting one. He is a deluxe class, and I've seen a lot of people preferring he was, well, not only not a headmaster, but that he wouldn't be a deluxe class. I could see that. In my opinion, he does look a little bit smushed down, kind of like the whole highbrow thing where he may have looked better as a Voyager, but I'm kind of liking the looks of this guy. I think his colors work together pretty nicely. Just a plain blue is his main one. He has some either white or gray. Also also in there. Some gold goes nice against the blue. Then his face is going to be a reddish color. Some people may find that to be really obnoxious, as I found the burgundy details on Getaway's chest, but I don't know, in this guy's case, I'm not really minding it. Facial contrast doesn't always bother me personally quite as much. He does have a fair amount of visible hollow areas, especially in the arms. Guessing that's going to be the case for the legs as well, as, you know, it would be necessary for the transformation most likely. And his arms and his legs do have a pretty simplistic design, but from these images, the figure looks to have a little bit more of a smoother, I don't know if streamline's the right word, but, you know, kind of a smoother look to him, which does give him his own unique aesthetic. I think it works out really nicely for the vehicle mode as well. I really would have preferred seeing this vehicle mode as a Voyager class jet, but it does seem to look pretty cool here. I guess he has a whole lot of weapons to fit his namesake, and I think those cannons do look really cool in the vehicle mode. Next, we have Voyager class Megatron. Now, this is initially a little bit disappointing in my opinion, because we're already having a Voyager class Galvatron. We just had Leader class Galvatron in the Combiner Wars line. Nevertheless, I'm kind of liking the looks of this figure, but I would say it looks almost like Combiner Wars Megatron done right. He has a sort of a G1 look, color scheme, you know, the chest design and stuff, but he's definitely a lot bulkier than G1 Megatron. And despite the bulk, from these images it looks like he'll have more articulation than the Leader Megatron too, at least hopefully, and maybe a little bit less awkward in the arm area. It's kind of hard to tell from these images, but that's from the way his arms look to be connected. Chest area looks to be pretty basic Megatron. That's not to say it's bad though. Now, there's a label on the side that says foil label art, and it shows a number of pieces that are designed in a way that they kind of look like they might be stickers. I'm not 100% sure about this, but thinking of the recent revival of stickers and Transformers figures, especially with ones such as Whirl and Roadbuster, and kind of looking at the way it's pointing to the details on his chest, I really wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. So I like the leg design. It looks pretty simple, but we do have that red detail on the knees that looks like it might have a sort of a grid detail to it. That's cool. Now his legs do look kind of skinny in proportion to the rest of his body. Some people might not be crazy about that. I'm really liking it because I feel like it accentuates his chest and his arms and gives him a very muscular look in that upper area. Now we don't see his alternate mode here. Initially I was kind of hoping that we might see another gun Megatron, but when you look at his lower arms, to me it looks like there's tank treads on the back, so I think we're going to be getting another tank, and you know, that's not necessarily bad. It's probably the best they can go with. Overall, really liking the looks of this Voyager class Megatron. Altogether, I think the Titans Return line looks like it's going to have some really cool Voyagers. Next, we have Voyager class Optimus. Looks to be another recreation of Generation 2 Optimus Prime. He's got the sword, the way the chest is detailed, the shoulders, all very reminiscent of that look. We also have the foil label art mentioned here, which may mean he's going to have stickers. Something curious about this guy is it looks like he may have two different heads. One that looks more like a G2 Optimus and one that's a more traditional Optimus. The color scheme is pretty typical for the character. He does have the addition of some yellow, which is labeled as metallic, so it'll be interesting to see how that looks. Personally, I find the red to be a little bit too bright on this guy, and I think it was the thing that initially turned me off from the figure, but taking a closer look at him, he does have some cool features. For one, it looks like both the upper legs and the lower legs are going to be long, so not only should he have a good amount of articulation, but also should be able to get in some convincing poses. The arms look as though they'll have standard articulation, but they don't look bad. Not really liking the bat kibble behind the arms. I'm hoping there's some way to disguise it. Once again, this appears to be an early image, so that could change. I'm a little disappointed that we're seeing another Optimus, but personally I like the looks of this way better than the Power Master Optimus, so kind of excited about it, and maybe we'll get a Black Convoy or Scourge Nemesis Prime repaint. I'm sure a lot of people would be really excited for that. I know I definitely would be. And then we have our final one, and that is Hot Rod. Now, unless I'm missing something throughout all of the text. I don't believe we have this officially labeled as a deluxe class figure. I'm assuming it's one just by the general look, and this is a figure I've been really excited for, getting another deluxe class Rodimus, since we really don't get that many Rodimus, aka Hot Rod, figures in general. I believe the last deluxe or proper one we had was back in the Transformers Classics line. We did have the Legends one in Combiner Wars, but it can't really scale up with the other figures. Personally, I'm really liking the looks of this. I honestly don't have too many negative things to say. Some people are not liking how heavy looking he is in the shoulders and arms, but I think it's cool. Gives him a tough look without him being too bulky, as his body's pretty skinny, and the same seems to go for his legs. Outside of the arms and the fact that he's a headmaster, I think this looks really good as a recreation of Generation Hot Rod as well. Definitely better than the version we had in Classics. One thing I'm not liking is the way the engine detail on the chest seems to be done. I don't think that's actually going to be a detailed piece. It kind of looks like a sticker or just painted on. I guess we'll have to see. I'm really hoping that's something that's actually molded. Can't really tell from these images though. Due to the overall build, him being a little bit skinnier, looks like he'll, have a little bit above average articulation, which will be cool. Definitely would want that for Rodimus. Now, I don't like the vehicle mode on this guy as much as I liked the Classics Rodimus, which had a really unique look, super streamlined. Like with Classics Rodimus, it felt like they went all the way and gave him that crazy look. With this, they definitely toned it down. It seems like it will fit in more with the line standards, which is fine. It's a different take on the character. Personally, I think it's a little bit more boring looking. We do still have the window section being pretty big and prominent, as it will definitely fit the Titan Master. This time around, we do get the pipes on the side, which is definitely a nice nod and really gives him that Rodimus look. I was expecting a little bit more flames on the vehicle, but overall, it's kind of basic for Rodimus, but I think it looks pretty cool. I have heard that some people prefer the vehicle out of the two modes. Personally, I like the robot mode together, but altogether, I think this is a great looking Rodimus figure. Might be in the minority there, but I really don't have too many problems with him, and I think he gets across the character pretty well. This coming from a person who really does like Rodimus in Season 3 and the animated film of G1. I would have to say either him or Doublecross are my favorite of this lineup, but you guys will probably have differing opinions on this, so you can drop those off in the comment section below. I also have a poll for this video. You can vote for your favorite figures from this lineup there. As always, if you have some topic suggestions for future commentary videos, you can drop them off in the comment section below. Take topics pertaining to Transformers 5, the Titans Return line, Robots in Disguise cartoon, anything Transformers related. Also, if you want to follow me more, you can follow me on Twitter. I regularly post about Transformers, or just, like whatever movie I've seen, what comic or manga I'm reading. If for whatever reason that sounds really interesting to you, then definitely follow me there. That's really all I have to say for now. Sorry if I sound a little bit tired on this one. I'm up really late as of recording this, so I feel pretty worn out, probably going to go to sleep right after this, so that's all I have to say for now. Thanks for watching, stay tuned, and have a good one, guys. I'll see you soon.